Hi, Scrubs. I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfam.
And welcome back to Soul Riders Podcast. And thank you all who listened to our latest episode, which was about outfits. And it seems like you all enjoyed it from what I heard from TC with all the comments, which sounded like you have a lot of ideas of what you would like to see in Star Stable in the future. But that was October's topic,
Yes.
and now November has passed as well. And so we have a new topic for you guys, which is probably a very expected one, or at least someone that is people want to hear, which is clubs. We're talking about clubs in the game, and we have a very special guest, which is Chiara Moonstone, also called Mooney, the owner of the Star Squad. Woohoo! Welcome, Mooney!
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Would you like to present yourself a little bit?
Sure. As you know, I'm Mooney, and I am the owner of the Star Squad. I have a YouTube channel, Chiara Moonstone. I've had that since 2015. I started playing Star Stable February 14th, 2015, officially on Valentine's Day, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I also have an Instagram because I love editing photos, playing on Photoshop. It's always been a really relaxing thing for me, and that's chiara.moon. So basically, I have horses in real life, which is what led me to want to play a horse game. So yeah, that's who I am, kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh, sounds lovely. What kind of horses do you have?
I have a thoroughbred, a mini pony cross, a spotted saddle horse, and an American quarter horse.
Wow, that's a lot of horses. Cool.
It is.
Okay, that was very cool. Very, very nice to have you here. You feel like a very good person to have for this topic that we're gonna discuss today. But first, we need to update everyone what we've been up to in November. Entire month has passed. A lot has happened, and so let's hear from Cici. What have you been up to in this November?
Well, I have been continuing with my studying, and I have been at one of Starström's events. They had a event at the Tekniska Museet in Stockholm, which was a lot of fun to be there and hang and talk to a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have been preparing to move.
You're right.
So I still haven't had time to play that much, which is sad, because I really want to see my fjord horses. I miss them.
Yeah, I realize I haven't seen you much in game actually lately.
Yeah, and I miss my clubmates too.
We miss you too.
Yeah.
I was watching something the other day, and there was a fjord, and I was like, Cici needs to see this fjord.
I love the fjords. They're so cute.
Yeah, they're adorable. Oh. Okay, so and TC, what have you been up to?
I've been trying to kind of get through training most of my other horses because I want to do a particular video with the ones I have left. So I have 4 horses. They're all in like level 14 and a half roughly in the game at the moment, so I want to get them finished. Hopefully, maybe probably around the time this podcast comes out, hopefully I'll have them finished. And then I might have space to actually buy something else. Although I don't have the star coins just yet, so I might have to wait. The only other really exciting thing is when my computer decided to kind of break. Although it wasn't the computer itself that broke, but I had problems with the operating system. Yeah. So after a couple of attempts with it, it now seems to be working. Touch wood.
We are very grateful.
I'm very grateful to my computer to still be working right now. So other than that, I'm trying to think. Like, I haven't. I've been online a decent amount this month, but it's been
spending time with your club.
Yeah, like I've done a couple of events and things like that, so that's what I've mostly been up to so far. I still haven't painted the walls that I planned to paint the house, but I will do that. I will do that eventually.
Well, the computer does come first.
Yes, it does. So hopefully, some stage, it'll like I will paint it, and then I can finally get my LED lights up that I wanted to put up. So.
Oh, cool! That's cool. Okay, and Mooney, what have you been up to in November?
Well, November's been kind of busy for me, and it's been a weird month because I've been on a night shift schedule. I'm a registered nurse, so
All right.
I work in labor and delivery, and I'm on like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shifts. So
Whoa.
it's
Wow.
my world's been kind of weird. I've been like a creature of the night, but
Oh.
I have been able to enjoy Star Stable at night, though. I have been going crazy over the new starter horses. Like, I spend so much time on my new starter horse.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
great. Like, our club went on a huge trail ride with them, and then the new Silverglade came along. So, of course, we had to bring the new starters through the new Silverglade. So, I've
We
been
did
able
that
to have
too.
some fun with working.
Cool. That's awesome. And I have finally moved home.
Is your
I
kitchen
know.
finally done?
My kitchen, or our kitchen, is finally done, and I am now in my room, and I am sleeping in my bed, and I have a door to close. You have
That
no
sounds
idea
good.
how much I
Yeah.
love my door at the moment. Ah, doors are amazing things. Other than that, I've just been trying to get back to recording and updating all my platforms in general, and also gotten back to events with the clubs. So I this week I had a big theme week where we did the Jorvik trail ride, basically, where 4 days we did trail rides around Jorvik, like with where we stayed overnight in different places, and you saw the new Jorvik where we also had just the starter horses with us. So we sort of did the same thing, but in 4 days straight.
Aw, that's fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. So much fun. And other than that, in like real life, I've started with my big paper that I have to do now since I'm in university. So
Like
that's,
a dissertation?
yeah, it's gonna be a 40-page long
Oh, gosh.
study thingy.
Wow.
So, and I'm not by my computer. I'm on the couch with my laptop from 9 to 5. So,
Oh, no.
yeah,
I
amazing.
find one of the easiest things to do with that is like make yourself write about 500 words in 20 minutes, even if it's not like structured. I got into the habit of doing that because it helps you get your thought process out. It makes it much easier whenever you actually then go, oh, this is what I'm thinking, and you know, where is my thinking lacking, and you kind of put it together. So I thought that was kind of helpful when I was trying to do that.
Yeah, I find myself jumping. Like, I don't keep to one page on my study. I keep to jumping between pages and just write whenever I feel like I have something to write. It's like rather than just sitting and do nothing. I think it is better to do that way.
Yeah.
But we are not here to talk papers, people. University is real life, and no one cares about that.
Yeah.
We are going now to the big topic, which everyone here is waiting for to hear, and that is clubs. Something that everyone has an experience of. Either they've been in a club and doesn't want to be in a club anymore, or they are in clubs, or they're trying to have a club, or they are thinking about actually creating one. So there's so many aspects of clubs in the game. And we're gonna have a lot of questions that we are gonna all trying to answer. Then also Mooney is gonna get some questions for herself as usual. And hopefully we will give you guys something to think about for future planning with your club if you're either creating one or have one right now. So is everyone ready for the first question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one. I will say, as usual, I will ask a specific person so that everyone just start talking into each other's mouth. That would be a big chaos. But yes, what would you say is the most important thing to think about when creating a club? Let's start with TC.
I think for just generally, I think the best thing to do is actually decide what is your aim of your club, and then decide whether you can meet that as a club owner, because I think being a club owner is a real big responsibility. Says the person who made a club so she didn't have to be in anybody's club.
Yeah.
Did it to be antisocial. So yeah, like when I created
great work.
when I created my club, I created my club for the purpose of not receiving invitations and just to be on my own.
Yeah.
That's not what it became, but I think it's fine to have changing, an evolving club. I think that's absolutely fine. I have never had a different club I did, when I originally joined, I was in a club with one other person, but then when they stopped playing, I realized that they probably weren't going to be playing again. I decided to make my own.
Yeah.
Just purely so that I could, have the...
It sounds so sad. She stopped playing. It's almost like she died.
I'm sure she's fine, but like she just wasn't playing that game anymore. So I was like, I'm just gonna make one, and that means I can have it and not have to do anything like get club invites and stuff. So like when I originally made mine, that was for that purpose. But I think if somebody actually is setting out like I want to have a club, I think the first thing you need to think is how much time could I have to dedicate to this, and then work around that, because I think there's no point in saying I want a club that has events every time at this part of the day every day, because if you can't do that, then it's going to kind of leave your members being like, well, this is what you promised us, but you haven't delivered. So I think that's quite important.
I just realized something that we should have done before we got into the questions. We're all in clubs. You two are owners. We should all actually say what we do and what we have for kind of clubs. So let's rewind a bit, and let's start with TC. What kind of club do you own?
I own the Dragon Dubs division and the Emerald Dubs division on Unicorn Forest. What happened was, as I said, I made a club with the intention of just being on my own. And then I had a friend of mine who joined from another game that I play. And eventually it got to the point where we were like, okay, well, more people are asking to join, but we don't have the space. So that's how the second club was created about a year later, roughly. I do remember the exact date, which I think is very soon, if it hasn't already. No, it's past, actually. It was created in November, but I can't remember the exact date right now. It was created a year after, roughly. I created the Dragon Dubs division, so the Emerald Dubs division was created, and then they took over leadership of that. So it's the same club under the same rules and everything. But I've had my club since about the end of 2015. They've been running the other part of it since November 2016.
Cool. Okay, and Mooney, let's talk about the Star Squad. Who are you?
Alrighty.
Yes.
Okay, so the Star Squad, we started in May of 2017, May 20th to be exact. And I owned that club with my sister, Stella Seahaven. And we had that through like December. But back in that period of time, I was still in nursing school, and my sister was just starting her first semester of college. And there was like a lot of drama that was in the game at that point. So we kind of took a break from it. We had disbanded, unfortunately, because I just didn't have the time for Star Stable. But once I was able to get through that rough semester of nursing school, I decided that I really missed my friends on Star Stable. Like, it's a big part of my life, my online friends, because that's like my hobby. What I do in my relaxing time is I like to play video games. So I was like, I'm going to go back. I really missed my club. So we returned March 20th of 2018. And our club, the Star Squad, is based on a cheerleading theme because we wanted something. My washer machine is going off. So if you hear the singing, the beautiful music.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's done now. But like I was saying, it's a cheerleading themed club that's based around positivity. We wanted to pick a theme that was super out there, that nobody had ever seen before in game, and we hadn't ever seen it before. So we figured, we could bring this to the game, use the color pink, because the Night Star server, that's where we're located, there was a lot of, just drama and fighting on that server. Clubs would fight, not get along. We wanted to be an example of like what the game used to be when I started playing Star Stable, and not all this fighting that it is in the present day, which it's gotten a lot better. But our goal was to just show that this is a game and it's supposed to be for fun, making friends. So that's kind of how we came about, and we just kind of try to spread love and positivity wherever we go.
I am loving that concept.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Awesome concept. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Now, me and Cece are both in the same clubs, but we are not the owners.
Nope.
I have, however, been in contact with our owner today, Cici, and asked her the questions and so on. So when I'm answering the questions forward, I will be sort of Frida Silverfield and also Maria Grapeolus, who are the owners of Comet Hawks, and we reside on the Swedish server Airstar. And we are a very equestrian-focused club. We try to do events as realistic, horsey events possible. So we have a lot of riding lessons, mostly held by me or Frida, but there are also a lot of other stuff that we like, games and so on, theme weeks. We have also had riding camps and other stuff, which are the ones that we are focused on. But we are a club for grown-ups.
Yeah.
Do you know the age limit, Cici?
I don't remember if it was 16 and up.
I think it is 16. We do have one exception in the club, but otherwise it is 16. So we have a lot of older players in our club.
Yeah.
And it is a very friendly and nice environment. We hang a lot. We even had a few that showed up at the Sweden International Horse Show this weekend to just hang and see the horse show together. So we are a little family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. So that is basically Comet Hogs. I am a riding instructor at that club. And Cici, what is your part?
I'm a member.
But you used to be... Weren't you a master before? No.
I don't remember.
Okay. Oh well. She's a member. So.
Yeah.
But I'm the riding instructor. But we will be representing Comet Hawks today.
Yes.
So yes. Now we have represented the clubs, and it is so much fun that we are all different clubs, which was basically our goal when we were wanting to do this podcast, to have different sort of visions and concepts to represent.
Yeah.
And now going back to the question we did before, what would you say is the most important thing to think about when creating a club? And now, since TC has answered, how about you, Mooney?
All right, so going with what TC said, time. You want to make sure you have enough time to own a club. Like, because your members that join, they have expectations and like they trust you. It's a responsibility. You want to lead an example. It breaks my heart when I see these clubs that disband in like a week or two.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart. Like, I feel like people should really think long and hard about the kind of club they want, what they may want their theme to be, if they want a theme, if it's going to have rules, if it's going to be strictly just a hangout club, but just to make sure that it's a solid ground for their members, like a safe place. Like, that's what I wanted to make sure, that I was around to stay, to have a home for these players. So that's kind of my thing on it, is make sure you have the time.
Yeah. Do you have an age limit in your club?
We do. Unfortunately, we do not reveal it because we do, like, I'll give you like the school range, like in American school. We say middle school and up just because I'm 23 and it's really hard for me and some of the other players to relate to some of the younger elementary school grades.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's fine. Okay. And okay, so up to when it comes to me, since I'm also sort of Frida, I asked her all these questions because she did not want to be in this podcast, so I'm sort of Frida as well.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been talking to her, and basically we are thinking the same thing, even though I haven't actually owned a club, but I see what she gets from. And her most important thing is that you should have what basically you've been saying, a concept and a vision, both terms that actually used in business. But having a club can actually be related to actually owning a business.
Honestly, yeah.
It takes time, and you need to know what you want with your club, basically. You want to know where it's gonna be, and you should have a solid ground when you start, and you shouldn't rush. The ones that end within a week probably haven't really thought it through, and or are stressing about time and so on. You should just really know what you want with your club, and having 50 members is not the most important thing. It's what you have. of members in your club.
Yeah.
And yes, your concept and your vision is what you're gonna advertise out to your members, and it should be clear what you want, basically. Cece, have you been thinking about this?
Well, I do
Have you been talking to Maria, maybe?
Yeah, I agree with what you've all been saying, that time is really important.
Yeah.
And to have a good idea what you want with the club. Because there are a lot of different types of clubs, like our club, Common Talks, equestrian themed events. Or some people just want to hang and chat with friends while you play. Yeah, and some others just like silly events like hide and seek and whatever.
It's not silly, it's serious business.
It is serious.
Hide and seek is serious business, Cece.
Had some very serious games of hide and seek.
But it's good that you actually make it clear that a concept does not mean that it is actually a business. It could just be like, it's like a theme. Like, do you want to be cheerleading? Do you want it to be equestrian? Or do you just want to have a club so you don't get in advertising, invites anymore? It is a concept. So it's good. So it doesn't need to be that serious. But yeah. Okay, moving on to the other question. How should a club advertise themselves? Mooney.
Alrighty. My view on this is I've always been social media based. I've never been one that advertises in global chat because I feel it gets spammed a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And people get aggravated when they're trying to talk on global chat with like basic conversations and people are just spamming it with the club stuff. I feel like just having, if you're allowed, of course, to have social media. I know some players are too young to have social media, but if you are, I suggest creating a club page on Instagram per se. And, it helps them see what your club's about. You can post photos on there, information, use stuff on your stories. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. But I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. It helps people see kind of what your club's about. And you also can create a club website that you can link into that Instagram. I personally use wix.com, wix.com, and it just lets them see basically a poster type of what your club is, like an understanding. So that's how I would advertise.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I wouldn't say too much. Exactly, not spamming in global because it never gets well. Then it's probably when you actually get the ones that just jump in to see what it is and then jumps out kind of members. So just use your platform to spread your concept and vision about your club. And it can be an Instagram, it can be a website or whatever. Just that platform and try to get it through using contacts in the game, or maybe your members will get engaged enough to feel like they want to spread the word, and so. And also it is okay to let it be slow. Don't spam, don't nag or anything, because what can actually happen then is that you don't have time to actually build up your club in time with all the members coming in. It's better to have it slow with just a few members at a time and let it grow into itself. So let it be slow. Sway with it.
Yes.
TC, what would you say?
When it comes to advertising clubs, I have also never been someone to advertise in global. I don't like global. I stay out of it. And I feel like a lot of people will advertise in global and they'll maybe get 50 members in a day. But a lot of people will jump in and, as you said, jump straight back out again. It doesn't give you a chance to build up any kind of relationship with them, because I think if people just are joining that quickly, nobody really gets a chance to get to know each other. There's no basic connections going to be made there, and when people don't have a connection to something, they're not going to stay. And I think it's very important that in that respect, that if you're going to advertise, maybe advertise once in a while, but don't advertise every single day or every single hour or anything like that, because I don't think anything's going to work in that regard. When it comes to advertising, like, I do use social media and I do use YouTube, but I wouldn't say that I really advertise. Like, I do put up if we're doing like open events and stuff like that, but that's just because like I like to run open events because it just gives an opportunity for people to join in, even if they're not a member of the club. Because I often find sometimes if you just do a restricted club event, sometimes you can have people that show up and they're like, "Can I take part?" And if it's just a restricted club event and there's really no reason they can't take part, I'm sort of like, well, sure. So I just decided with a lot of our events, like there's the odd event that it is just club, but I've just decided now to do a lot more open events because I'm like, if some other clubs want to join in, that's absolutely fine by me. So I suppose advertising, like, I guess I'd have to agree, if you're old enough and you're allowed to be using social media, you could use that. But for me personally, I don't really. A lot of the people that originally joined my club was because I had friends that played another game with me and they joined into the game, and some of them spoke to people and made friendships and then they joined the club. That is
also a great way.
How that happened. It was very slow for a very long time. It was 4 of us, then it was 5 of us, then it was 6 of us. And it was like that, and I was happy enough for that. You know, it grew very slowly and very organically in that regard.
That is actually great. It might be good to just put in here a bit of serious business when it comes to rules in the game. Now that we're talking about using social media, it is not okay for you to advertise your social media in the chat in the game. Just making sure that you all know that. A bit of notation for everyone.
Gotta keep the younger players safe.
Yes, it's very important. So when we're saying using social media, it is the community is very big on Instagram. You don't need to actually advertise in the game. You will make you can do it within Instagram itself. So back to the question. Cici, you.
Yes. Just as you said, the Instagram is really active right now in the Star Stable community. So having an Instagram account for your club where you post about your events and what you're doing in the club with like fun pictures where you're gathering and stuff like that, that's a great way to advertise your club. And also when you're in game and you're with your club and you all, you know, stand together, a lot of people in the same place. There's also like that piques people's interest, like, oh, who are you, and like, can I join? And so just
that is very true.
Just being in the game and being like several people with the same club name, that's good advertising too, to just like
that's actually, as you said, that's part of the reason I just made a lot of my open events or a lot of my club events just open events, because people do just appear and they're like, can I join in?
Did I hear a dog?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have the noisy room.
No, it's okay. I was like, wait, a dog?
It was so cute.
I just love dogs, so I react. Oh, boy.
Aww.
Hi, doggy. Hi. Okay, so that was that question. So is everyone chill when it comes to spamming in the global chat? No one ever listens to it anyway. Goes to social media or anything. Or just be a group. As Cici said, it's actually very smart how to advertise in the game is just be together. That is a great way to.
And another way I just want to add actually is if you see an open event going on or something like that, just go and join in, because you might meet some people and you might make friends with them. And it's like with my club, it was literally because my friends were talking to other people, becoming friends with them. I wasn't like really, you know, bothered about like numbers or anything like that. That's never been important to me. So like that I think is quite a good thing to do. I mean, don't go to somebody's event and be like, come join my club. Like, don't do that. But
no, don't do that.
You know, do go and talk to people, because you might just gel with somebody, you know.
Also, don't go and, because this has actually happened, what I've known from Frida, that there has been another club mailing her members in Comet Hogs asking them to join their club. That is quite rude. And don't go and do that. That is rude. Just saying. So there are ways to do it in a very nice and polite way.
And if somebody, like, just if somebody says, like, if you go up, because a lot of people will be like, do you want to join my club? They'll just come up to you. if they say no, just say thank you for your time. Just walk on. Like, don't
Yeah.
bother them.
It doesn't need to be that big of a deal, basically.
Yeah.
So moving on, does a club need a website, YouTube, Instagram, and so on? Now, this is maybe the weirdest question ever since we've been talking about social media. But when it comes to sort of actually, does a club need specific web social media, basically? What do you think, Mooney? What is the most important social media to have?
I would say the most important one is probably Instagram if you're going to have social media. That seems to be the community's favorite thing to use. So I would go with probably Instagram.
Yeah.
But I know some people, it's just strictly star stable based, and their clubs do really well. They don't have to use the social media end of it. I really just think it depends on the club owner's age and what they're allowed to do. I don't see anything wrong with not having a social media, and if you do, great. I think it just depends on what you want for your club.
Yeah.
I'd agree completely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Frida was thinking the most important is to have a website, and I think that is more common here in Sweden.
Yeah.
That a lot of clubs here in Sweden actually has a website as a ground, as a platform, the platform to have all the information on and so on, and then has the Instagram for the fun stuff to show what they do on events and if there is something special that happens. So at least here in Sweden, it seems like you should have a website and an Instagram. YouTube is a plus, but not really a must. I feel like that is probably something that would just take a lot of time away from the actual being with your club. YouTube takes time.
Yeah.
So I would say website and Instagram, and Frida would say that too.
Yeah. Me too.
Cici, what would you say?
Yeah, I also agree with that. Because sadly, in game right now, on the writing club tab, there's not that much room to write stuff. So it's kind of hard to organize. So if you have a website, you can write out all your rules and your schedules, and you can plan event long time beforehand.
Yeah.
Which you can't really do in game because you only have like 1 week on the tab. So yeah, I've actually been. Oh, maybe this is for a late segment.
You mean events?
Yeah, no, for a wish.
Oh yeah, that is for later segment.
Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah, I'll take it later. So yeah, I'm
thank
done. Yes.
Okay, and TC, what do you think?
I think website for me would be the last thing on YouTube.
Okay.
Mostly because website does take a lot of work, like initially when you're setting it up. Obviously, if it's something that just kind of contains the basic details, and you don't have to update it very much. I suppose once you've done it, you've got it done. I mean, I set up an Instagram and a Facebook for ours. I've no intention of ever doing a YouTube for my club because that would just be no, I don't need that. It's a lot of work, and I think it's different if you had a club that was themed around YouTube and you basically that's what you did. I think that would be different, but
that would
for me
be cool.
personally, I'm just like, no, I don't want the extra work. For me, Instagram's so quick and easy. Like, if we want to have an event, I just post it. It's there. It's done. I don't need to think anymore about it. I think that's why. I think for me, it's because Instagram's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
The website, YouTube, I would just kind of throw it the window. I'd be like, no. But I have noticed actually in some, like as you said, a lot of like Swedish clubs seem to have a website. Whereas like I noticed like more in, let's say, the UK and US, it seems to be maybe more Instagram orientated. I guess it depends really. Like I know a lot about both.
Yeah,
I think about it like sort of outside. I felt like what we do, if you're very active with your club, like making a web page, having social media, me holding events and organization, so it is a lot of stuff that you actually do in real life when it comes to work. And if you actually, even if it is a star stable online website about your club, it is still something you can show someone if you are actually looking for work.
That's true.
I never thought about that.
So I would say trying to at least make a web page, because I feel like you have a lot more space to. If you can make a web page, you have a lot more space to have like all the rules on.
Yeah.
You have a page where you can write applications you want to join the club. You
Yeah.
have a page, like schedules and events and a member page and so on. So you can have so much fun with a web page than you can have with actual Instagram.
Yeah, I think
my
the
voice.
main reason like I haven't put the effort into something like a website or whatever is because of this whole thing where you cannot share social media. Like it's very clear now that you're not allowed to share you know, links and like you can't say go to our website or whatever because it's directing you out of the game, and that makes it very difficult because I'm like, why am I going to put the website up if the only places I can put it is like social media or whatever? I can't actually say this is a website. I know the reasons for it, obviously, because you could put a link to anything. I totally understand the safety issue. Like, I've no complaints about that. But I guess for me, that's why I prefer Instagram, because I can just put something up and it's there and it's really quick. And I think it's the simplicity for me in that regard. Because I've done the websites before many a time, so I'm just like, no, don't want to do it.
But it's all up to interest, of course. But another question that is very interesting, because I've noticed here in Sweden we have at least 1 or 2 websites that have focused on making a register of all the clubs you can find in Sweden on all servers, like an index. Is there something similar in the UK or US?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Because that is actually very cool. I like kudos to those people that does it, and I think like if there's anyone out there that is like not in Sweden, because we already have that then, but in UK or US and wants to do this is a great way to learn website for work, but also to get other clubs to be able to advertise themselves and to make and then also make their own website, because that is the website has an index for other like Instagram or their websites clubs and so on, and also like specification like if what their theme is and what age limit it is. It's so beautiful. I love it. The organization, love it.
So it's sort of like a Star Stable database but for clubs in
yes
that region. That's
and it's
really
so
cool.
pretty.
I know there was somebody who was for a little while, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they had like a list of like some of the UK clubs, and they did have the leaders listed, but I don't know if they're still doing it. Like, but it wasn't like on anything, I think it was just like
so it was just so cool. But it's a tip for anyone out there who wants to do it. It is very much appreciated for other people if you want to do it. Okay, so we answered that. Moving on to the next question. How do you deal with troublemakers? Troublemaker.
Oh gosh.
Oh goodness, we all been we've all been there. We who doesn't own a club have not been there, but we've heard stuff since we are pretty close to the owners. I'm in the crew, so I get to hear. And also I talked to Frida. And Frida says that it is very important to take it in private and to be very respectful. Even if it is like a troublemaker, like try to keep it away from the rest of the club, because they do not need to be involved in the drama. Because she've heard there are people that has taken it up like during club meetings that someone's been a troublemaker or something, and that is just it's very disrespectful. So I would not say don't do that. Take it in private and do not be afraid to actually speak to your members when they are doing something that is against the rules or anything like that. It's very important. What do you think, TC? How do you deal with troublemakers?
I think it can depend whether the troublemaker's inside the club or outside the club, because sometimes you'll have trouble from the outside.
Yeah, that is true.
And I think we've all seen that at some stage, even if it's not ourselves. Like, I guess whenever it comes to troublemakers, if it's somebody outside the club, I will just, if it's, say, it's specific people that maybe they're having problems with, like, say there's a club member that they've got a problem with, I'll just tell the club member to ignore them, and you put them, actually use that feature, because then they can't contact them again, and if they contact them outside, like, for anybody that uses social media, then do the same there. Sometimes it can be like just like silly small fights that happen between individuals. It's harder if more people are involved, but typically I find it is best to just take someone to the side and sort of say, you know, this doesn't really need to go on. If it is somebody that's just outside and is just causing trouble for the sake of trouble, I'll probably just put them on ignore for as long as I need to. If it's somebody, if it's somebody that, like, in the case of it, if it was a case of, like, there was somebody who was just attacking everyone, I'd probably just say, you might want to put this person on ignore. But really, I think it's better to say, if there's this person brings up problems with you, then put them on ignore. Because that is one of my club rules. One of my club rules is that if somebody is aggressive or you know, nasty or whatever, don't fight with them. I don't want to have to deal with the what will result from that. Because it sets a bad precedent, it sets a bad example for other people, whether they're in the club or not. So I always say to people, if anybody comes up and is unpleasant, then it's just better to put them on ignore. In terms of dealing with people in the club, like, if you have set rules, I think this is very important. Like, it's not to have a lot of rules. I have a very simple bunch of rules, and actually, if I condense some of them, it's basically just to be respectful of other people, whether they're in the club or not, to be respectful of other clubs as well, because I don't like what I would call pack mentality, and I've seen it, you know, raise its ugly head sometimes, and, you know, you just kind of have to say, no, that is not how we're going to behave with this, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a case of us against them. It's not. You know, it's a game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want this drama. I don't need this nonsense. So I think when it comes to people in the club, if somebody's broken rules, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be something to do with anybody else. It is best to take someone to the side and explain what was done and sort of say, this is broken this rule. I think it depends on the severity of what someone's done for me. If somebody's done something minor, if they are happy enough to apologise for what they've done, if they've been rude to somebody else in the club or whatever, and move on, that's fine. I have no problem with that. For more serious offences, like, I did have someone who joined and started asking for people's account information. That person was immediately removed, and they were told why. I sent them a mail and I said, we do not tolerate this at all. And
that is actually breaking the game's rules as well. So
so for me, that's someone that's never coming back into the club, as far as I'm concerned. That is somebody that is off that list. Because I have had people who I have removed from the club for rule breaking, and maybe a year later have asked to rejoin, and I've sat and thought about it, and in some situations I've said yes, but on the grounds that you follow the rules, and especially the one that maybe they've broken them as. Some people I'll just say no. You know? But I think you have to be firm. I think one of the thing with it is you cannot be wishy-washy about your rules. Because if you are, people don't respect your rules. If you bend the rules for one person, when somebody else breaks it, they'll just point that out.
Amen.
So I think that's very, very important. You know, you set the rules. If they break them, you got to say, if this is a minor thing, okay. You know, is it okay if they stay so long as, you know,
it could be like warnings. It doesn't have to be like.
Because I have some people I have warned twice, but that's usually it. But it does, as I said, it depends on what they've done, really.
Third time's the charm. Okay, and Mooney, how do you deal with the troublemakers?
If it's outside the club, the biggest thing I tell my members is we're not going to respond to it because we know our own truth. Like, we know what we stand for, what we're doing. We don't need someone else to try to make up lies or rumors. And in the end, when people do that kind of behavior, they don't care if it's negative or positive attention. So if you respond, you're only giving them the result they wanted. They'll tend to stop if you don't respond to it because it's no fun if you don't care. So that's kind of how we handle the outside of it. We just don't get involved with any drama that's outside the club. And the club also, we have rules that everybody agrees to before they join. They read them, they agree to them, and we tell them to reference them, like if we update them, or to check back frequently. And depending on, like, if it's just something minor, of course we'll just warn somebody. We'll of course do it privately, never in the open or in public. It's no one else's business. Like, we'll handle it privately and warn them. But if it's something serious, Unfortunately, yes, they will be removed because it's all rules that they agreed to, because we don't
Okay.
stand for any type of cyberbullying or stuff like that. So I think it's good to have rules because it keeps everybody on the same page and
Yeah.
it keeps the game fun.
That is true. Cece, now have you dealt with troublemakers?
Well, no, but I've actually a long time ago when I was in another club prior to Comic Talks, my club had a lot of troubles when we were having events, and some other players just come and just wanted to be troublemakers and just wanted to to be annoying to us.
Yeah.
Then, you know, some of my club members were being like, they would take the bait and argue back.
Yeah.
And that made me really, really sad because it just took time and mood away from the event. You know, I was there for the event to have a fun time with the club, but they would just... It's so easy. Just put them on ignore and just focus on the event. You're there for the event, not to make beef with someone.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
That
yeah.
is true. I've actually done occasionally when I've held an event, because we tend to not respond to any troublemakers outside of the club, but I at least try to say in the safe chat, like, hi, we're having an event right now, could you please not go away, but in a very nice Swedish way say, could you not bother us? And occasionally there has been people like going, oh, sorry, I will leave, and they actually leave, and then we've had people that will continue being annoying, and that is when we put them on the ignore.
Ignore is a wonderful, wonderful thing and underused in a lot of situations.
Don't be afraid of the ignore button.
Yes,
you can
please
unignore them later. It's not like it's a death sentence.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people be like, I don't want to ignore them because then I feel mean, and I'm sorry, but if somebody is being like that with you, there's already a lack of respect there, so just put them on ignore and go about your day.
Yeah.
The ignore is a nice way of saying no and then walk away.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of the ignore button. It's okay. Okay, moving on from the very sad part of being a club owner to something that is probably a lot more fun if you want to do this, and that is, does a club need a uniform and a club horse? Mooney, do you have a club horse and a uniform?
We do.
Yes.
We have a club uniform, and we actually get real creative with this because we like put it with our theme. We have our regular like varsity jacket outfit. We use the baseball jacket, the pink one, and that's kind of just like the one that we just wear around all the time. Like that's just the classic outfit. And then we have a cheerleading outfit because the Star Squad, actually my co-owner Brittany Goldside, she has come up with cheers that she actually leads in Say Chat during championships. So we have a little cheerleading uniform that we wear when we go to cheer people on.
This is adorable.
And then because it's winter right now, usually our outfit has skirts. Well, we've changed to pants and a pink beanie because we're going to wear that through March because it's chilly, because we want to try to make it realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
And we do have a club horse. We have the North Swedish horse, both Palominos, the dark one and the light one. And we use the little buckskin pony. So we just thought it was a fun way for the club to make it more realistic, to try to fit our theme. And everyone was on board for the whole outfit thing. And I just think it looks really cute. But I guess it just depends on your club's theme as well. Like for us, that worked. Now, like an equestrian realistic roleplay club, they may not have like a matching outfit because you're going to wear like the realistic riding attire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the club, to be honest.
But would you say that a club needs to have a club?
No, I don't think they would need to have one. Like,
no, it's not that.
I think it's totally up to you. Like, if you want to have a uniform, cool. If you don't, then that's fine. I don't think there's like a requirement to have one.
Yeah, that's true. Because when I discussed with Frida, she said as well, like, it's not important. However, it does give a way to create a unity in
Yeah,
the
It
club.
does.
But it is very important that it should be voluntarily, because it's still a requirement of using either star coins or Jorvik shillings.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the club horse, that is probably the most
Mm.
expensive thing to get. So it should always be voluntarily. And
Yeah.
I can imagine that there are some people that only sign up for clubs that has the horse they already gotten. So, but yeah, it always should be voluntarily. How about you, TC? Do they need uniform and club horse?
I think if you're just starting out, I would maybe sway away from it, unless it's a particular theme that you're going for that does require that. Because for me, I initially didn't have one, and then it was because we were starting to have a few people. It was like, shouldn't we have a uniform? Like, and I was like, okay then, I'll go put one together then. We've never had a club horse, and I have been getting questions. I always did get questions about, do you have a club horse? And I'm like, no. But I guess a couple of people have been like, can we please get a club horse? Because, you know, you've been here a long time. We should probably have a club horse. But I guess it's because it's such a personal thing, I think, with the horses. So I keep thinking about it, and then I'm like, not so sure. I know for a lot of people, actually, a really good idea now is probably the starter, because a lot of people really like their starters.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're always gonna have it. So I think if you're starting out, unless it's a particular theme, then I wouldn't use it. And then if you've got a couple of members and you're all pretty well gelled together, and you think you're going to be there for a while, then I probably would possibly introduce it and have a discussion about it. But I guess for me, it's very important, as you said, that a club uniform is voluntary, because I've had too many people join my club and be like, I'll join and I'll immediately buy the uniform, or I'll get it before I join. And I'm like, no, don't. Come into the club. Be here a couple of weeks, be here a couple of months. We've had somebody who's been in the club a year. She's going to yell at me for this, but she hasn't bought the club uniform yet. And I'm just like, just buy it whenever you feel like it.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
That's a year, though.
I'm very relaxed like that. But I was like, if you want to buy the club uniform, that's fine. But I'm like, don't buy it until you've been in for a little while. You know, because I think, like, I had one member who joined the club before they were in ours. And as soon as I joined the club, the person was like, you have to buy this horse, and you have to get this uniform, and if you don't, I'll kick you. So she immediately went, bought the horse, spent her star coins buying the uniform as well, and the next morning she logged in, and the club had been disbanded. And it wasn't even a horse she liked, so she was like, so I think a lot of people, would appreciate a more lax policy on the uniform. Like, by all means, you can have a time that they have to have it by. Like, I counted up how much my uniform costs. So my uniform costs about 47,000 shillings. And the only item that you have to buy is the leg wraps, which are 50 star coins. So for me, I think that's important as well. You have to think about that.
Yeah, very interesting. Now okay, Cece.
Yeah, it kind of depends on your club, but I don't really think you're required to have. If I agree that it should be voluntarily, because it's just like it's an extra thing. It's not like you have to have this to be a good club or something. It's just fun to have like a unity, and it's also a fun thing to do as a club. You talk with the members, and you together choose an outfit or a horse. That's a really fun bonding activity. But yeah, I don't think it's like required and to that extent. Yeah, it should be a fun thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It should be a fun thing, because like I've seen, as Mooney was saying, like there's a lot of clubs that will maybe have outfits for different kinds of events, and I think that's great. Like for mine, we just have the club uniform, and then we had one that we did for training, because obviously our club uniform has like hardly any stats. So it was like, rather than training our club uniform, we're like, okay, we'll make a training club uniform outfit. So we kind of have that, but it's there's going to be some of my members listening to this and be like, we have a training outfit. We do,
Wait,
but
what?
only a couple of us have it because it was discussed a really long time ago. But yeah, I think that's important as well.
Okay. Because moving on to that, I feel like we've already moved on to the next question, which is what is important to think about when creating a uniform and choosing a club horse, which CC said is very good to include the members in voting the outfit. It creates even more of the unity that I talked about before. That if the more that actually gets to choose the outfit and to be in a sort of democratic environment of choosing the outfit and horse, makes it even more of a unity in the club. And also it should be all things that you can buy in the game, like no holiday stuff that there are some stuff that we have gotten through holidays that we can't get anymore, so that's cruel. And when it comes to the chorus, me and Frida felt like it should be something that sort of match your vision of a club, sort of. Like we right now has the quarter horse, since we are an equestrian, and so. But TC, what would you say is the most important thing to think about?
I think to start off with, if you have a particular theme, if you're going for a dressage, maybe you want to go for a dressage horse like Lusitano or Deliverance Honor.
Hanoverian.
Like I think that is quite important. Like if you're going for a club for players that are maybe newer to the game, maybe you do want to go with like say a starter horse as the club horse, and choosing outfits that are available to those people, because if you had a club that doesn't go into Epona, say for example, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, our club uniform is an Epona or something like that. I think it's important to kind of take that into consideration. I also say set a sort of a reasonable budget, because for me, I really wanted to make sure that all of my stuff could be bought with shillings, because I didn't want to force anybody to have to get the star coins. And I was like, well, 50 star coins for the leg wraps, like we probably get that in the code sometime from Star Stable, so we did recently. So technically that would have bought the leg wraps. So I guess those would be some of the things I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking about the cost of it, how many outfits as well, because obviously if you use different outfits for different kinds of events, you're gonna have to take that into consideration, and whether you're gonna go for a specific color theme or whether it's more gonna be themed on whatever the particular event type is. I think that's important. Possibly if you have a small club and you've all kind of been together for a long time and you all have the same horse, that would probably be the easiest choice for a club horse as well. So yeah, I think those are probably some of the things I would think about whenever trying to create a club uniform or choose a club horse. It's just bring those things into consideration, because there's no point in saying you have to have a horse from Epona and you only accept up to level 12, player level, like that would just kind of not work in that regard.
I also sort of want to ask that you should not be afraid of change if you are a club that has been existing for a few years, since the game is changing, and especially when it comes to the horses and clothes, they get better and better. It is okay to change club outfit and to change horse, because if you keep to the same thing from the start, your members might feel like, I don't really want to ride around with all this stuff anymore, and then they realize how long they've been with the club and they feel like it is time for change and they leave. So it is better for the club to actually be okay with change. But Mooney, what do you think is important to think about?
Again, if you have a theme, I would think you would want to relate to it. And I guess it just depends too if you want to be like a late level club, like a club that has access to all the areas, or if you want to include, like, say, the non-star riders or the new star riders. So you would want to pick a horse that they could have access to. Again, the starter horse, like you all mentioned, is the easier option, and there's so many ways to customize them now that it is a really unique horse to use. But for TSS, personally, we went with the North Swedish because our idea behind it was like, well, they're really strong and stocky, but they're somewhat short as well. So if we were able to, I know you can on Star Stable, but like stunt and stand on the horse's back, they'd be able to carry us like vaulting. So we're like, they can be the the little
Oh,
cheer
cute.
horse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
And also they are
And-
warm and cuddly like you are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are, and we just liked that they can't wear leg wraps. I don't know, that kind of drew us in. That they're different, and not many people
Aw.
use them for that reason.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's cute. That's adorable.
Yeah.
Has everyone answered the question now?
I haven't, I think. No.
Oh, sorry, it's easy. You answer.
Yeah. I think that if your club has a theme, then it's a fun way to incorporate that in the outfit and the horse.
Mhm.
Like, for example, if you have, like we do, equestrian themed club, then a more sporty horse is more likely to be like a good choice.
Yeah.
And the outfits should probably be like a fast outfit with good stats.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So sort of match it with your vision
Yeah.
concept.
exactly.
Good, good, good. Moving on. What would you say is an active club? Mooney.
Alrighty, so my definition of active is probably different than a lot of players, like
Mhm.
younger players.
Mhm.
For us, the way we gauge activity with our club is we try to host at least one club event a month. And if you can attend that one event a month, we consider that being active because we are an older based club.
Yeah.
And of course, real life comes first.
Yeah.
And our club, we have Discord built into our club. So when a member agrees to join TSS,
Mm.
their job as a member is just, we have little text chat rooms just to make an effort to chat every day, daily, and to
Mhm.
attend that one event a month. That's basically what we consider activity for us. As long as they're trying to make friends and friendships, which is what we consider clubs for, is for hanging out, making friends, and just having a good time. As long as they're participating in the Discord and coming to one event a month, that's our definition of active. But I know, like, dressage clubs, I know they have to be a lot more active because their training is extensive and the stuff they come up with is like amazing and takes a lot of practice. But
Yeah.
that's my definition of active club.
Okay. And TC?
I think whenever I apply it to my own, I guess, if I see someone at least every once in a while, then I'm like, okay, you're still alive, it's okay.
Yeah.
We have one monthly event as well, but I don't make it like it's just like it's totally voluntary. People go to it because I actually have a couple of people who just like the fact that they can be in the club, not get club invites, and can just play on their own. And I have a couple of members like that, so they don't take part in those kind of events and things like that. But then I have you see, I sometimes will log in. And it could be very, very quiet. Sometimes I can log in at really random hours of the night, so there'll be nobody online. And then I could log in the middle of the day sometimes, and it'll be quiet. And then other days I can log in with absolute madness. So it really depends, I guess, for me. For that reason, I would sort of say it does depend on your club. It's like when you mentioned, like if it's a dressage club or a daily events club, you would be expecting people to be online every day. Some clubs do that, where they're like, you need to be online at least between these hours on this day or whatever.
Wow.
I just like it really relaxed and quite chill because like there's a lot of, because I have a very wide range of ages in my club, a very wide range of ages, so it's like just suit your own schedule really. And we're having a club event this time, whenever we are going to start doing I think this was agreed upon a couple of days ago by a few of us. We're going to try and have like every Friday night a training session, so everybody can just come and train, because that's one of the hardest things I know that people struggle with is training. So we're going to try and incorporate that in every Friday. That's the plan.
Oh, that's nice.
But that'll be on top of the monthly thing, so that's what we're hoping to do.
Okay. When I discussed this with Frida, she feels that an active club is basically a club that can adjust to its members. And members showing interest in activity, and it can be chatting, it can be events or hanging out and so on, but just that it shows life, that an active club is just engaged owners and members basically. And we in our club has has events. Let's see now, 1, 2, 3, 4 days a week.
Mm.
But we don't have the real what is it called, present requirements like that. They keep track on who comes to the events, but having so many events also gives the freedom of choosing when you want to be attending. So at least that if you show up at once a month, even if you have all these events, you showed up once, and that is fine. And so you get to choose when you want to be active, and so that is a bit more freedom, I guess, in that way, that we have so many events to choose from. So that is basically an active club for me and Frida. And what do you think, Cici?
No, I totally agree on that. Especially since we are a club for older players.
Yeah.
And as an adult or older player, it's kind of hard to balance playing and your everyday life if you have work or school or like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good to have that choice, that you don't feel that pressure that you have to be logged in like every day and be on every event.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people find that too much.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. The events 4 times a week, or what did you mean?
I know, I
Oh
just
my
mean
gosh.
like I'm real honest. If I join a club and they're like, you have to be here 4 times a week, I'd be like, oh, okay, bye now.
Same.
No, that's not what we mean. We have the possibility.
No,
of
I
joining
know
4
for
times.
you it's not mandatory, it's voluntary.
Yeah, no,
Whether
yeah.
you just ideally you want them to come to at least one thing. I just tell
Yeah.
them a lot. The events that we host are not mandatory. You want to show up and spend 5 minutes, that's fine. If you want to spend up and stay here for 3 hours, that's fine. Because as I said, like, because we have a really wide range of ages, like we have younger ones, and then we'd have teens, and then we'll have adults as well. So like the adults will work and have university and stuff, so they're not always going to want to be tied down to these things. And then like a lot of people obviously in their teens are doing like their big exams, preparing to go off to uni eventually or to college or whatever. And then you have the younger ones who do tend, I do typically will see a spike in people logging in around 3 o'clock, because a lot of our ones would be around that age, like between that and like in their teens. So I would say like, you know, like early teens to sort of late teens would be where most of them are. So you typically will see more the school time whenever it's really, really busy. Like in the morning it's sort of quieter, and you'll see more of the older ones on then, or maybe you'll see them later in the evening or whatever. So I usually try to do events around 6 o'clock or something, because that seems to suit most people.
Yeah.
It doesn't suit everyone. I also think it actually can depend if you have anybody who's from another region, because we've had that as well. We've actually had a couple of Americans in our club. So sometimes you have to kind of move it about a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's another way. It's different because we are very. It is more common with active clubs like Comet Talks having events every week at least. I don't think I've ever heard of a Swedish club that has an event just once a month.
Yous are clearly more dedicated than the rest.
We are very dedicated people. We are Vikings.
Yes.
I'm almost starting to wonder, like, this actually work? Oh well, it's fun anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. Now I feel I asked this, but I want because I want us to actually have a topic in the future about just events. But we can go into this and then just return, because it will be months before we touch that topic again. What are your favorite events, Mooney?
Favorite events for our club is we like to do realistic things. I've hosted barrel racing, some pole bending before. We had a show jumping cup that I recorded for YouTube, where me and my friend Buns pretended to be like realistic judges and had like commentary, like a jump cup.
That's cool.
Yeah, we kind of like the realistic events, and we really enjoy going out to cheer at the champs. That's something that's really unique to our club, and the girls really seem to enjoy it, and the community loves watching it.
No. That is amazing. That's great.
Yes.
And TC, what's your favorite events?
I just really want to scream Halloween.
So once a year, it's an event.
Okay, that sounds terrible. See, what we typically do with ours is every month we'll just pick a theme. It could be anything at all. It could actually be a really like realistic equestrian theme, or it could be something like Halloween. It's just because I had so much fun this Halloween. I absolutely loved this Halloween. My face hurt from laughing. Like that was. It was basically an event where we had everybody dressing up in their Halloween outfits, and then we hung about after that. So I guess like I enjoy different kinds of events because I've gone to other people's events and that. I kind of like training events actually because it helps me train. I haven't really done like I've always been really curious. So I guess whenever you go to explain your events, because I genuinely have no experience of like these more realistic events, and they sound really interesting, but I'm like, where do I even start?
Oh, go to my riding video lessons. Advertisement, people. I have tons of videos.
Yeah, because like I did once go to pony camp like many years ago, so I'm like, how would I host that in Star Stable? You know, like stuff like that.
You have to be very creative.
Yeah.
Extremely creative. I actually wish for Star Stable to sort of make more stuff to see that we do these kinds of events and make more space and realistic, at least for me, realistic paddocks. I need realistic paddocks in the game. But that is for wishes. Sorry. But yeah. Cici, what's your favorite event?
Yeah.
You have to say all that is mine.
Yeah, of course. No, but honestly, I really do like your riding lessons. I really love our equestrian theme in our club. Because I don't ride that much in real life anymore, so I really get my horse outlet in game. From our really cool trail rides and riding lessons, and it's so cool that we have many different kind of riding lessons. Like yours, Rose, with Icelandic horses. That's really cool.
Stop it, you!
I mean, it's so cool to learn more about Icelandic horses because they're really awesome and cool.
Love them.
Or like Frida with eventing and show jumping. It's really fun to have. Like you can learn so much from people that are generally interested.
Yeah, we have to make a statement. Me and Frida are actually not licensed riding teachers. Make sure that everyone knows.
You're good anyway, you're really good.
Oh, thank you. Me and Frida, of course we enjoy the events we do. We love the horse-related events. And we do tons of riding lessons and trail ride. I do mostly of the trail rides and sort of. And we tend to get, because since it is just basically me and Frida that does this, we tend not to be able to actually join others. It is so when I do trail rides, she's so happy and she tries to really get to my lessons, and when she does a lesson I go like, oh, I can finally join a lesson. So we are trying to make the other members like go, it's so easy, try and have a lesson, we just want to be there, it's fine.
Maybe they're shy.
They're shy. They try. I believe we have one that does, but she's so busy working now that she doesn't hold one. Maybe I should nag her. I will nag her this Christmas. Oh well. But yeah, just try to make it as realistic as possible. There's no problem with the role playing in the game. Just be creative, and people will basically join you.
Yeah,
and that's fun. So, but yes, we will touch this topic in the future more into deepness of events, because I realized this could just be a topic in itself.
Yeah, definitely. I have like a billion questions, which I'll keep for then.
Fun. But yes, moving on. How do you deal with rough times, like low attendances at events, for examples? Mooney.
For low attendance, we noticed we started to have some low attendance when it seemed we had too frequent of events. Like there would be like an event every 5 days or so.
Yeah.
And it seemed people started to take them less seriously and stopped showing up. So we started to focus more on the quality of the event versus
Okay.
like how many events we could have. The minimum is always a month, but we usually always have more than one event a month. But we just try to space it out. That way it's something that the members look forward to and
Yeah.
want to attend. And I guess
That's true.
another thing that could be a rough time is if you lose a decent amount of members. I know that's a struggle for a lot of younger club owners. They question like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't they like me? Why did they leave the club and take so and so? The best way my club handles this is we love our members no matter where they go. If they decide to stay with us, if they quit SSO, if they decide to own a club or decide the club's not for them, we just have the belief that it's just a club name under your name. Doesn't mean you aren't friends with those people anymore. And not every club is for every person. So just overcoming just that initial disappointment. I know it's disappointing for new owners when they lose people.
Yeah. Oh, you're just a good role model.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. TC, how do you do with rough times?
I guess I don't really stress myself. I'm just kind of like, if a lot of people, if I don't have a lot of people, I'm just like, okay, well, whoever's here, let's just get on with it, really.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way I work it. Like, I don't worry too much. I think, like, a lot of people, when they organize an event, and the worst thing is when nobody shows up. I can understand that. The worst feeling is when nobody shows up. I totally understand that. But I would say it doesn't mean you should give up. Definitely not.
No.
Because, it takes time to build these things up, and sometimes it's just really unlucky timing, like say for example, like exams and stuff, because I know I do tend to see around exam time. Some people will mail me and be like, I'm not going to be on between this time, and that's fine. But a lot of them, I don't require that, so like they might disappear for a couple of weeks and then reappear like, I finished my exams, so like around that time, I usually expect around those times of the year I won't really see people, and then when you have the holidays, people will typically be on a lot more. And kind of like, it was what you're saying, like with a lot of people leave at once, or maybe somebody leaves and somebody goes with them, or they go on to make a club themselves. Like, I do think it's really important that people don't go, we can't speak to them anymore, they're not in the club. No. Definitely not, because I still, like, there was one or two people that I had to remove out of my club because of rule breaking. And I'm still very good friends with them, and it's just that because, as I said, like, my club rules are there, and I have to enforce them. So, like, I'm still friends with a lot of people that either have gone on to make their own club, or have just maybe moved on from the game entirely, I think that's important to remember, because at the end of the day, it is a game that's there for fun, and I don't like the them versus us thing. That's non-existent for me. I don't care. Like, there's one or two clubs that I know that will come to a lot of our events, and we'll try and go to theirs as well, and I really enjoy that because it's just fun, so I think if you are really worried and really, like, I guess hesitant to do an event on your own, maybe speak to somebody you're friends with who has another club, and maybe do a joint event, because joint events can be super fun, like really super fun. So I think that's something to consider as well.
And Mia Frida has come up with a phrase: just keep swimming.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's not really, we didn't came up with it. I mean, it's Doris from Finding Nemo, but just keep swimming. It's okay to have rough times. Businesses have rough times, and just have patience. Like, if it's a rough time, don't disband your clubs because of one thing. Have the patience and see if there might be, like you said, TC, factors outside of the game that might be causing, like, exams. It might be summer and people might not want to sit by the computer all day, or it's holidays and so on. It's okay to have times when it's just not much activity in the game, and so take that time actually to chill and take your own vacation, because you will need it. So that is basically our answer. Cece? What do you think?
Yeah. Because people are people and people have their own lives.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are busy, like, yeah, like you already said, like school or work or, you know, private things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will just be times where people just don't play that much.
Yeah.
So, but what I think is really good with our club, Comic Talks, is that if we are going to like plan some bigger event like a riding camp or a club championship, we usually bring it up at the club meeting, and then we're like, oh, this week, what's which week is best for most people to come, you know.
Yeah. Didn't do that for my theme week, but it worked fine as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they tend to actually be smart to ask.
Yeah.
And also we do have very long holidays with our clubs because they know that people might be traveling and other stuff, or exam times tends to be around holidays as well.
Yeah.
So we're actually going on holidays in 2 weeks already, and then I have no idea when we're starting in January. But it will be somewhere in January. But yeah, then like in summer vacation we have 3 months off almost in our club, and it's fine. I mean, we tend to never lose any people during that time. It is okay to have a holiday. It's actually appreciated by most people. So don't be afraid of holidays.
Actually, what CC sort of mentioned there about if you're trying to organize time with people, like obviously you can't please everyone, so just try and go with the best possible solution. Because if you try to suit everyone, I will guarantee somebody will still not make it.
Exactly.
So definitely.
And also, there will be people saying they will make it and then not come.
Yeah.
So
because sometimes people just genuinely forget. Like there was one time that I forgot, and I was like, I think it was a half an hour later. I had this message like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh!" And then I was like, oh, "Okay, I'm on my way."
No.
And the other thing is too, actually, like we did this for Halloween. We didn't put our event on actual Halloween. We had it 2 days before because I realized that a lot of them were probably going to be out for actual Halloween. So I was like, let's just shimmy that back there 2 days. So that's when we did it. So sometimes you have to do that too.
Yeah. Remember the outer factors, people. There is a real world outside.
Yes.
It takes our time, sadly. Yes, now to the last question. We made it, people. What kind of rules are important to have, and should there be presence requirements? I think a lot of people would like some answers on this, since it is at least it is a big topic in Sweden. And since it is a big topic in Sweden, I will start. And Frida and I feels it depends on the club and what kind of members you have. In some cases, presence requirements might be fine with reasonable requirements, of course. Like I would say having requirements that they should attend 2 events a week is quite rough. Like I would say actually 1 event a month is kind. But that, as I said, it depends on the club. It is also up to you, because you as an owner have to keep track of your members. They will not do it for you. But yeah, so those are the present requirements we discussed. And other rules should be that everyone follows the game's terms and conditions. That is the most important stuff. Because if they do that, they will probably you will basically have the exact same rules as the game. Mostly. So common sense, people, is the best rule. Have some common sense. What do you think, Mooney?
Rule-wise, I think it's important, but again, like you said, if they're following the terms of use and like the game rules, they're hitting a lot of it. I have some rules though, like regarding the social media end of it, because we're social media based. I do not allow my members to post drama on their stories. That's not something I want associated with my club. So I don't let them respond to that. And telling them is another one that can be kind of sticky situation and dangerous, I just tell them don't respond to the hateful comments. Just delete them or apply the word filter, and you can put words in there that you don't want to see, and it won't send those to you. So that's just kind of our rule. Like, just don't get involved with the crazy drama, and let's just play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is good. Good rules. And TC?
For me, I guess most of my view rules are actually centered around just being respectful of the members, non-members, and other clubs.
Yeah.
Don't bring drama or any kind of bullying into my club because I don't want it. You know, how to deal with people who are trying to start stuff. Like, say, for example, somebody comes up to you trying to start a fight, not to fight back with them because I don't want that. I just think it's much better to just, you know, say bye and walk away. You know, ignore.
Exactly.
That's very important.
Just smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. So for me, that's very important. But obviously, as you know, you say, if they're following the terms of service, these things should be self-explanatory. But I feel like I just put them there to just reinforce it. And then obviously not. This is actually a rule that I only added because that person started asking for people's account information. But I have a rule about never asking for account access because that's an immediate permaban. Like, there's no question about that. Because I don't feel like it should need to be said, but unfortunately because of that, I think, as you say, it's common sense. If you find somebody does something in your club that really shakes the fabric of that club and shakes people's security, because that really, I wasn't online at the time that she did this, so I was like, this person has shaken quite a few of my members by harassing them, because she did harass them for their login information. So I was like, that's not being a real, that's an insta-ban, as far as I'm concerned. And then the other one I just had was like, no role player spam the chat. Like, for a role play club it would be different, but for me, I don't want people role playing in the club chat. That's for friend or group, because my club is not a role play club, so I just don't want that in there, because people may be trying to have a conversation, you're trying to role play, it's not cohesive. So for that reason, that's there. But I think it's about common sense. If you find somebody, as I said, like really, really shakes the fabric of your club and takes away from that environment, you know, because you want to have a safe environment, then say, okay, maybe this rule should be written down as well.
Yeah, it's very important to write down the rules and not just suddenly say to the people, oh, this is a rule. That you should have a place for all the rules to write down. Well, Cici!
Yes.
What is your answer?
Yeah, obviously it's following the Star Stable on rules. That's a given. Other than that, I really like Frida and Maria's rule. That they really think it's important to include everyone. To make everyone in the club feel welcomed. So we have a rule that when we log in, we say hi, and when we log off, we say goodbye. Because it makes the environment so much nicer.
You don't have to actually start a conversation or talk anything. You say hi and goodbye.
It's just every member feels like they're being seen, and they, they can be.
It's a nice little rule. Like, and it is hard to follow. Because I mean, it's not like as soon as you don't say hi, you get kicked out. There has been people, like, you can miss that someone logs in. Or like me, I do recordings on my original account, and I always write in the chat like, hi, I'm recording, I won't have the chat open if anyone is in, but if someone logs in while I'm recording, I won't be able to say hi. But I try to remember when I'm done to pick up the chat and say, hi everyone, I was recording. So yes,
I actually have been several times. Right now I'm studying at home at a long distance. So I cannot log in at awkward times or like unusual times. So I usually log in when no one else is on. but
Mhm.
I just keep saying hi anyway because it's just
Just
Yes.
to make sure.
yeah, just make sure so I don't miss out on anyone.
Oh, that's actually quite smart.
Yeah, so it's like the first thing I do when I log in. I'm like, hi.
Yeah. Hey. Hey.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
That's great. That is good though. It's better than doing nothing. I mean, yeah. Okay.
I was just laughing yesterday because I managed to get logged into Star Stable for the first time since last week.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, oh, is this really TC or is somebody taking over
Oh
our
my
account?
god.
And I replied with my normal response, and they're like, oh no, it's TC, never mind.
Oh, okay. And I actually managed a few weeks ago. I must have been very tired. I logged in, and one other member was in, and we said hi as usual. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I want to be nice and say like, how are you?" And I was leveling, and I didn't realize she didn't answer. And I quickly read the chat and just read, "How are you?"
Yeah.
and thought she was asking me.
Yeah.
So I
Oh my gosh.
I'm just leveling. And
Talk
then
to
she was like,
yourself.
"Are you okay?"
Aw.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Wait, oh dear." I think I'm tired. Oh yeah, so that's a thing that's gonna live with Common Hogs forever.
Yeah. Just role playing with
Ah.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm just talking to myself. That's what comes to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on now to Mooney and the question that is just for you.
Okay,
Yes, are you ready?
I
You're
am.
roasted. No, you're not gonna be roasted. They're very kind. When did you start your club and how long has it been running? You might have been answering some of these questions already, but it's good to have them in one segment.
Okay, that's all right because I have answers prepared for this, so
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
good. My club started March 20th, 2018, with myself and Brittany Goldside as the new official owners. TSS originally started May 20th of 2017, where I was co-owner with my sister Stella Seahaven, but as we mentioned previously, we disbanded that December due to her being busy with college and I was in the heat of nursing school. Once I got my real life back into order, I returned to SSO because I really missed my online friends and we've been around ever since.
Oh,
Aw.
perfect. That was a very well answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ah, okay. So the next question is, what is your club's goal and vision? And you have answered it, but we can hear it again. So
Okay. The goal of our club is to spread positivity and good vibes throughout the Nightstar server. We set out to be an example for players on what a game's all about, having fun. There's nothing like having club events, experiencing new updates, and hanging out together. We set out to be like soul sisters. You could say we have a bond like the Soul Riders. We all are super close and share our love for horses. We set to be an example of how you just need to keep moving forward, even when things get rough or drama's trying to bring you down.
I just love it. I love it so much. We need more clubs like this in the
Oh,
world.
that's so sweet.
Oh, okay. Would you say being a club owner is easy?
Being a club owner, I would say, is definitely not easy, and I feel it takes a special person. You don't have just your experience to worry about in the game at that point. You have to worry about the possibility of 50 other girls in your club as well. I feel you need to have set expectations for your members as well in order to keep things running smoothly and drama-free. You have to be there for your club members during rough times, and you also have to be an example for your members during these tough times. These girls rely on you and the game family you've created for them, so you definitely want to make sure that you're ready to be an owner.
Yeah,
You definitely
that is
do.
true.
Too many
Yeah.
people underestimate it.
Yeah,
they do.
Okay, but what is the hardest part of being a club owner?
I feel the hardest part of being a club owner is when you have to act as an owner and not someone's best friend.
Oh,
You have to have a line between your friendship and your ownership of the club. It's really hard to hold someone accountable when they break club rules, especially when they're your close friend, but it needs to be done in order to keep the club orderly and fun for everyone. Make sure to let them know it's what you have to do as an owner and it's what's right for the club, but it doesn't change your view on your friendship with them. Be honest, but also be kind.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's
Very
Yeah.
much agree there because I think
It's
sometimes
rough.
yeah, sometimes whenever you're having to remove somebody, they honestly think that you absolutely hit their guts, and that is not the case. You're just like,
oh, it's
like,
so terrible.
you're like, I'm not kicking you because I hate you. I'm kicking you because you broke the rules, and it's okay. Like, you know,
it's okay. I forgive you.
I forgive you, but I just have
this
to.
This is the result.
Yeah, just unfortunately, this has to happen because I have to keep order. Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's
difficult.
true. Yeah, I can imagine. I never own a club, and I probably never will.
It's the worst part, honestly. That's the rough part.
Oh. Okay, the last question. Have you always been an owner, or have you also been a member in a club?
Actually, I spent my first 2 years of SSO being a member in clubs. I actually never thought I'd want to own a club because I just felt I didn't have the leadership skills at the time and didn't want that responsibility. And honestly, sometimes to this day, I still envy just being a member because you get to just have fun and don't have to worry about the planning and the rules the owners have to deal with. Like sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I was a member, but in the end, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. And once again, like owning a club, if you put it in perspective, leadership skills is something you learn again, and something I wish would be something that we could show when we apply for jobs.
Honestly, because it's like a little business. I mean,
it is a little business.
Yeah, it's a little organization.
Might be hard to prove to someone who's never played Star Stable, but I mean,
you keep track of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like we can learn a lot of stuff that we can actually use in the real life.
Yeah, because I think if you
By
can
owning a
like
club.
manage people pretty well in that situation, you'll do pretty good with other situations. Because like it is really, really hard whenever you're trying to maybe manage that many people at once, and also make sure everybody's following the rules and enforcing those rules. You know.
Yeah.
And it teaches you time management. How to do the right thing, to be a leader, make difficult decisions. It really does teach you a lot of life qualities.
Project. How to be a project leader.
Yes.
And so on. So yeah, you can learn a lot. So yeah, are we feeling we're done with the topic of clubs?
Yeah.
I think so. Like,
yeah,
because I know the events, like there's a lot of stuff to talk about with events, but that is
a
definitely a
different
topic
episode.
in itself.
Yeah, we're getting that next year.
Yeah.
So we're doing that next year, and this might be another topic we might return to in the future if we ever feel like we haven't really touched everything. So yeah, it might not be the end. It's like the horse episode we did. Also feels like we haven't touched everything.
It's just a case of for people out there that really want to run a club, just try. And if it absolutely fails, don't be like, I'm just going to disband, never try again. Just relax, just think, what can I do differently next time, and is there anything that I can do that maybe will work better? It's literally just about learning, because I did not start out with, I think, like the Pancake's 8 rules that there is. But as I said, there's like 4 of them are really more talking about, you know, how to behave with other people, like just like really simply, you know, no bullying, no drama, and like, you know, but like 4 of them, that's basically what they are. It's just like that. I did not start out with those rules. I had some experience prior to this because of horse teams and that. Because we had a lot of rules there, but that's because like there's a lot of real life money involved in that game, and like horses and stuff like that. So and breeding horses and selling them. So like we don't have that problem in Star Stable. So it's a lot more relaxed, and you know, definitely take more relaxed approach. Like for me, 2 degree Star Stable is more relaxed, and then other areas I'm like, oh, help me now. You know, and it all seems to be going wrong. So
Perfect. Then I feel like we're ending this topic. Are we done? I feel like we're done.
I feel like we are.
Yay! No, it is a very interesting topic, and one
It
can
is.
just go on and on and on about it. But I think we're getting to a segment that a lot of people do like, and that is our favorite and least favorite update.
Oh God.
November has been very interesting with wishes being answered, and areas being updated and best friends being updated and getting more of a very specific breed that someone loves here in the podcast.
Yes.
I don't know who you could possibly mean.
I no idea. So let's start with Cece. What is your least favorite of this month? And I'm so looking forward to this.
Did you say Cece?
Yeah, Cece. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's me. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was actually pretty hard to pick a least favorite because this month has been crazy, with really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that I really had to look for something, I would say that the game is now
Oh my
ending.
god.
Because
Oh my god, you went for it!
I'm only saying this because personally to me it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Although that is not really an update, Cece.
Well, I had to pick something.
It's
Everything
not
else
an update.
is-
It's a game thing.
Yeah, but it's an update of the game.
True, it's an updated language.
So yeah, please don't hate
Okay,
me.
then.
Danes. I'm happy for you.
I'm so happy for you, Danish people. Damn it.
Oh my! I was like, go Daneland, and I was like, wait, what? Go Denmark. Oh dear.
Okay. So what is your favorite update?
Thank you,
Wow,
guys.
what might it be?
I love the fjords.
Yes.
I was so happy
Oh.
when we got the
Oh.
beautiful red dun, the blue dun,
Oh.
and the Polino dun. Oh,
Yeah, they were
so
all
cute.
gorgeous, actually.
Yeah, so I'm really happy that I have like literally a stable full of your horses now. Like my dream has come true. I'm so happy.
Okay. So now we've done that.
Yeah.
Interesting segment from Cece. TC, what has been your least favorite this month?
I wouldn't really call it a least favorite, but one of the hardest things, and I know so many people are going to disagree with me, one of the hardest things for me was getting used to the new starter. And I know I said this in the podcast when we were talking to Lisa because I am fond of the moose, okay? I liked my moose. I was very fond of my moose. So I was like, whenever it changed, I was like, it's beautiful, but where is my moose?
Aww.
So
Oh.
I partially am kind of sad about that. I'm getting used to it, but
Yeah.
there was just something about that horse that was completely derpy and I loved it. So I guess for me that's sort of a least favorite. But as I said, it's just because I don't think they
There's
look.
nothing else.
It's partially because I don't think there's anything else. I haven't really seen the Zoni yet. I haven't got to look at it, so I don't want to like talk about that because I genuinely haven't really seen it in game myself. Like I've watched people on it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So like for me, I guess it's got to be the starters, but it's just I love the new colors and that. I think the colors are really good. I think they're are really good, but it's the model. I'm just like, I miss my moose a bit.
Oh my
In
gosh.
that respect, I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they
And
were
what is-
just so
Okay.
unique in that respect. So
Yeah.
I don't think they look exactly like the Tricator. I don't.
No, they don't.
No.
So yeah.
Don't.
I
So what is your
miss-
favorite then?
I just missed my Danger King, but that was all.
Of course.
No.
My favorite, I am. This is tough, actually.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The fjord has grown on me.
Yay, Team Fjord!
It was my first fjord, so.
Yay! Welcome to Team Fjord.
So
I'm always CC in the background. I'm like,
Oh
yay!
my gosh.
So I do really like that. In regards to the Silverglade update, I think there's a lot of things that I think I like way better, but there are other parts of it that I feel lack depth at the moment. Some things look too perfect, like maybe terrain, and I'm just kind of like, I feel like it looks so perfect that, you know, I know the ground doesn't really look like that. I know it's not supposed to be hyper realistic or anything, but
Yeah.
there's just a couple of areas that I'd like to see a bit more depth to.
Yeah.
But because it's not a complete finished
Yeah.
thing yet,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, I don't like this and I don't like this. And
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like
no.
I don't like bits, it's just I'm kind of like, this I think could be better.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
in that respect, I guess, it would kind of be between the fjord and some of it. I love that there's no walls around Moorland. Yay for no walls to run into, so.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, that's, if
Yeah.
that's kind of, if we go for practicality reasons, the no walls is great around Moorland, that's my favourite.
Yeah.
But I love the walls.
I don't miss them, I don't need to, like...
I didn't like being caged in.
Yeah, I didn't like being caged in either. I'm free now!
Mm.
Okay. Hmm.
So.
Oh well. And Mooney, what is your least favorite update?
I guess my least favorite update, it's not that I don't like the Zoni. I loved the Zoni, but I was really hoping the Christmas Village would have came with it. It was more of just disappointment because I'm so excited. I hope they're planning something really cool with it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, yay for the Zoni. And I read, like, to try to read down. I'm like, oh,
Where's
no
the
Christmas
village?
Village.
I think it will come next month.
Yeah.
Well, not
Well,
next week.
well, yeah.
January.
In January.
It's very
Yes,
delayed
that's when
this
we're
year.
getting ready.
Santa's late.
No, I mean next week.
Well, he did crash his reindeer last year, so, you know.
Oh
that's,
boy, yeah.
that's true.
We gotta give
Yeah.
him that.
Oh, okay. So what was your favorite?
My favorite by far is the updates to Silverglade. I am a sucker for the fairy lights at the championships. I love
Yeah.
the lights and the night
Yeah.
sky.
Hmm.
And like I notice like the little things, like when you go past the lighthouse, like the little golden particles that float in the air. Like I love that kind of stuff, like the
Yeah.
subtle little details and like the bees. I really like the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so big though.
They're thick bees,
Oh
Yeah.
boy, they're scary.
curvy bees. I would not want to be stung by one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Mm.
And I have to say, my least favorite is probably the fact that it gets darker a lot more sooner. in the
Oh
game.
yes.
Okay.
I can understand that they want us to enjoy the night sky, but I feel like we got to before and now, or at least as it gets darker now. By that time it gets dark, that is the time when people want to do the events, or people like YouTubers won't have the only time to record.
Mhm.
So, and I is the one who doesn't really like to record when it's night in the game.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't mind how it got nighttime that late in the game. I felt like it was actually a good time. If people wanted to enjoy the night sky, they could do that on the weekends. So I didn't see the reason why they
I'd
would do
like-
this.
I'd like if they would maybe do something like make it easier for people to do record, because that is a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a wish to toggle the day in generally, but right now I felt like they made it worse. To be fair.
How much
so
of
yes.
a difference is there? Because this is the thing, I haven't got to experience this yet, because what happened is when I logged in to do a live stream, I had the bug where it was nighttime.
Okay.
So I was like, gosh,
Oh.
it has got really dark really quick. And then somebody was like, no,
You have a bug.
you have the bug right now. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't actually know. how much
Yeah,
difference
no,
there
it
is.
is around 7. The
Yeah.
6-7 it goes. You can see the sun go down,
Yeah.
and around after 7 you will start seeing stars. Basically,
Okay, right.
it's not really complete dark. I feel like the real complete is around 9,
Yeah.
but it's still you don't want those stars when you're trying to pretend it's day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my least favorite. And also I want to add that I am not that entirely fond of how open Moorland is right now.
Oh my gosh.
I like the paddocks, but I like the gates. And right now it's just so empty in there.
I kind of
Uh,
agree with the gates. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
They're
nice having the
pretty.
gates there, but the big wall around the back, no.
Yes, I do like that. I like the paddocks. I'm doing a big event next week with all these paddocks. I'm
Yeah.
loving them.
Ooh, nice.
But when it comes to the gates and so on, I feel like a big historical thing of Moorland has been removed.
Yeah, when you think about it, actually, because like the first video you see is you arriving and it's the gates of Moorland.
Yeah.
Oh.
So pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and all the trees are gone. I have so many big things that is like,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's a work in progress. I have to buy it. But my favorite thing is the updated starter horse. Like, I use my starter horse a lot now. If you check my Instagram, I realize that they're mostly pictures of him right now.
Aw.
Yeah, the amount of people I've
So,
seen
yeah.
riding starters, and then I'm like, oh, what's that horse? And I'm like, oh yeah, starter. And then somebody else
Oh,
will go
yeah.
past, and be like, oh, what's that horse? Oh yeah, starter. Like literally, that has been me. Like since they've got updated, I keep forgetting what it is.
Yeah.
Because those people
they're
are
so
like,
pretty.
I want to be able to buy this horse in more colors. I'm like, do we really need another starter though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So, if you want that, then create another account. It's not that hard. But yeah, so that was our favorite and least favorite of the November updates. Now we arrive to our monthly wish, where I only make one rule, which is one wish only when it comes to TC and CC.
Oh my gosh.
But Mooney can have two because she's a guest. And nice.
Yay.
So, what are your two wishes, Mooney? Yeah.
Right. So my wishes on Star Stable would be, my first one is I'm dying to have a Tinker Horse update.
Yeah.
I love those horses so much.
Yeah.
And then my other wish would be for Star Stable, like I would want it to be a Star Coin feature, but for them to add like custom sliders for like hair colors, like where you could like pick your own like hue, like a little slider, and like maybe like a dye shop where you could dye each piece of clothing like a certain color, because I know that's on other games. Just some more customization, like where you could change the shade of the hair to what we wanted, or maybe like adjust some clothing for like a small Star Coin fee.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
That would be nice.
That'd be great.
Those
Plus-
are my wishes.
plus the
Good
stats.
good
too.
wishes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
Santa will hear you. I hope Santa will hear you.
I know. I hope so.
Yeah. TC, what is your one monthly wish?
I'm gonna relate it to the topic. So I want more ability in the game to organize events within the game, because I think that's the most restricting thing for me right now. Is like I'm not allowed to talk about social media in the game. So I want to be able to have a calendar where I can set club events and people get a reminder at the top of the screen when they log in, just like whenever they've got championships, that I can automatically mail everyone in the club, because that's one of the most frustrating things as well. So I need more features like that, because I think the reason a lot of people go to outside the game is because they're not getting those kinds of things in the game, and I think they're really crucial and they need to be there to be able to make it easier, because a lot of people I think start to fall apart with it because there isn't that kind of ability in the game, and I think it should be a basic feature and it needs to be there. So that's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, how cool wouldn't it be that I have a pop out in the screen that says riding lessons and that
really
time?
would be.
Yeah, or
That
like
would be
you have a team message, a club message, and you can click it and read it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
like event in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Oh yeah! Counting down.
That would be cool.
Okay, and Cece, what is your monthly wish?
Yeah, I'm on the same page with TC here. I would love to see like an updated club sort of calendar or something. I have also been playing a lot of World of Warcraft, and they have a really cool in-game calendar where you can see like month by month like different events in game and what days they are, and you can like click on a day and like can you write something? I haven't played in a while, but anyway, it would be so cool to have like a more in-depth calendar where you can write up, like, because the one we have now is like only like 1 week, and it's not really that effective if you want to keep in touch, because not everyone is going to log in every day, so it's hard to keep up with the latest information in the club. So if we had a more in-depth calendar where you can like as a club owner or as a club leader write in events day by day, month by month, That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's something that's really
Yeah.
lacking.
Yeah.
It needs to be
Yeah,
there.
really.
Yeah,
Really
it
does.
needs to be. In generally, the feature of clubs needs to be
Yeah.
updated.
Yeah, it needs a little love.
It needs
does.
the love.
Love and care.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And
2019, the love of the clubs.
yeah,
Yeah.
even just the ability to see when someone was not necessarily to say when they're last online to the exact minute, but just
Yeah.
like a little coloration. Like say they haven't logged in a week, it'll fade
Yeah.
out to red.
Yeah.
And if they've been in line in the last week, then it'll be orange. And if they're online now, it's green. Obviously, something like that
Oh.
because that
Yeah.
makes life so much easier. 'Cause
For a
it's-
club owner.
Yeah, because you know, for people who get, you know, if there was an occasion where I hadn't seen someone in months, and I removed them, and then found out that they had been on yesterday or that day. It's just because I was always on at a different time, so I never saw them.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, so I messed up badly there. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And my monthly wish is also connected with the topic, and also since I'm a riding instructor, I'm gonna make it to I want club paddock or a riding arena just for the club,
I agree.
because
That'd be
at
really
least on the
cool.
at least on the Swedish server, there are a lot of clubs that have events and riding lessons, and we don't have that many places, and it is hard to fit like 3 clubs in the riding arena,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all having different lessons. And I don't really I want to use the paddocks outside. However, they have no letters,
Yeah.
and they are weird sizes. So it is there you have to be really creative when you go like, oh, do ride across from that side to that side, and you have to pinpoint what side it is. And
Yeah.
it's so annoying. So I really wish for them to just either give us a club paddock, just a paddock that is just for the club, or just to update the paddocks to be more available for events and clubs events.
Yeah.
In general. So yeah, that was our last segment, people.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
this has been fun.
it has been.
It's been very fun. We're actually gonna wrap it up here. Thank you, Mooney, for joining us. It has been a real pleasure.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Sorry if I was somewhat quiet. Like, I haven't slept yet from my night shift, so
Oh boy.
I'm a little crazy.
No, it's fine. You did very, very well. It was so much fun to hear about your club. Really, a big role models when it comes to clubs.
Yeah.
We need more clubs like that. Really.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. It means a lot. It was a pleasure.
No, so yeah. Does anyone else has anything they want to say before we end it here today?
Just clubs need love for
Clubs need more
2019.
Yeah. We do know that you're listening, Star Stable. They need more love.
Yeah.
And I want to say that in December, it will be the last. Not the last episode, because we are continuing into 2019, but it
Yeah.
will be the last of this year, and we are making it that the topic will be that we are wrapping up this year, where we're gonna talk about the entire year, what has been happening in the game of 2018, and we are hoping that the next guest will be someone from the Star Stable headquarters.
Ooh,
Yes,
fancy.
it will become so fun. We already have some contacts that might be able to join us, so it
Nice.
will probably happen. But can't promise anything, of course, because it will be around the holidays,
Yeah.
and that is an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everyone for another great episode.
Thank you very much, Domini, for
Thank you very
joining us, because I was really
Yeah.
interested to hear more about, because like I would
Yeah.
say like I am one of these people that like lives under a rock, but
Yeah.
I've always been aware of like the Star Squad to some
Yeah,
reason, you know,
that's
to
true.
some level or another, you know.
Yeah.
So I was really interested to hear more. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us.
Well, no problem. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Problem.
So we all want to thank you all for who are listening, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and we will take them up in the next episode. So yeah, stay awesome as all stay awesome as always, people, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
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 Bye.